Welcome, everybody, to the Pirate People Podcast. I am Rick Cole. Our podcast is presented and produced by Pirates Digital Media. Today's a little bit different recording session because Carly Beebe is our guest, and we didn't know it was going to happen this way, but we set up the recording from a car dealership.
Yes.
Carly, really
Yes.
Unusual. So you may hear some noises in the background, and you'll recognize the car dealership sounds with the announcements and stuff. But it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
for
very
those of you
excited.
who don't know, Carly is I guess coach is the word, sponsor? What's the word you use for being around the dance wave?
I consider myself coach. I call myself Coach Carly, and I have my dancers call me Coach Carly.
Yeah, I think
So,
that's appropriate.
I think so too.
You know, I've always said, and I'm not trying to make myself look big or anything, but I think dance, cheerleading, they're just as important as athletics.
Absolutely.
Kids work hard. They try to
Absolutely.
perform in front of people. They do perform in front of
Yes.
people. And that's important. We talk about extracurricular activities,
Mm-hmm.
building character. So I think it is appropriate to be called coach.
I agree.
When you get a kid, how much teaching do you have to do?
So depending on how much experience they have before they get to college, really determines how much I have to teach them. So dancers that have danced their whole life like me, they come in, they know exactly what's going on. They need very little training before we get ready for a performance. But kiddos that dance in high school for 2 to 3 years, those are the kiddos that really have to push technique and working on new skills and teaching them things that they've never been taught before. So it's really fun. I get the best of both worlds working with those kids. Not only do I get to teach from the very beginning and teach those newer dancers how to dance, but I also get to push dancers who have already danced and push them past their limits.
Well, in
So-
athletics now, it's changed so much because kids come with a lot more experience due to their clubs or whatever.
Right.
Do you get some of those kids that are highly experienced versus?
Yes. This year I actually have, I would say 2 to 3 that have danced almost their entire life, and they are so fun to push. And it's fun for me because as a dancer myself, I don't dance anymore, of course, but as a dancer myself, it is so fun to work with them and not only teach them how to do new things, but to figure that out myself, and then later on push myself and try to get myself to learn how to do the same things.
Right.
So not only am I pushing them, but I'm also pushing myself as I'm pushing them and teaching new people. So it's just a lot of fun.
We're going to get into your history from as a toddler on.
Okay.
Now. We're going to explore every minute of that. No,
Yes.
but let's talk first of all about the creation and evolution of Dance Wave. 4 years ago, right? It started.
4 years ago.
And you were one of the inaugural members of the dance team.
Yes. That is such an honor for me to say. So I went to NCMC in 2019, and my head coach, her name was Melissa Spencer, and she was the very first NCMC Dance Wave coach. And then from there, my sophomore year of college, I actually took the role of coach, and ever since then, I have been coach at NCMC for dance. And so it's so fun when people ask me about that. I have had the opportunity to watch Dance Wave evolve and change and move in all kinds of awesome ways. So that is an honor for me to say. And Melissa did a wonderful job coaching me and kind of transitioning me from dancer to coach. It was a lot of fun.
Well, one of the things I really respect about what you did is that I think it's really hard to be that coach when you're still so similar in age.
Yes.
What was that like the first year?
Oh my goodness, it was definitely an experience, a learning experience. Of course, all of the dance sides of things were very easy, but learning about budgeting and fundraising, and also literally teaching and coaching your peers, it was so interesting. We did it, and it was a wonderful year, very memorable. But as the years go on, I am becoming more grateful for my age increasing because I'm seeing more respect from dancers. I'm seeing more coach-dancer relationship versus peer.
Exactly.
I'm trying to be a coach, and it's awesome. The longer I do it, the more fun it is.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah.
that first year was difficult, but we did it, and we rocked it. It was good.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
You know, honestly,
So-
I thought you guys started out in your first year being very good.
Yes.
And now you're very, very, very good.
Well,
if not
thank
great.
you.
No,
Thank you.
seriously.
Yes.
And you've been a part of all 4 years of that.
Yes.
So that's quite an accomplishment. I also think that the second year teaching, coaching, whatever it is in business, it's so much easier once you've been around the entire, season, the entire
Yes.
year. I mean, you don't have to ask everybody where the paper clips are, or
Yes.
you know how to make an outside call or something.
Yes.
Just things like that become a little easier.
Yes.
I want to talk about Melissa a little bit because Melissa
Yes.
Sims is a mentor and she's been a big part of your career.
Yes, Melissa Spencer. So when I went to,
I'm sorry,
no,
Spencer.
you're good. You're good.
Oh,
There's
no.
a lot of Melissas in Trenton.
I'm married to one that doesn't.
Are you?
live in Trenton, so there
Okay,
you go.
very good. When
Sorry, Melissa.
No, you're good. When I went to NCMC in 2019, oh my goodness, that's crazy.
So long ago.
I know. Well, not really, but anyway, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and when I found out that she was going to be my coach, and we met, I actually, my first year of Dance Wave, followed her around and helped her a lot behind the scenes, creating dances, seeing how to budget, how to
Great
fundraise.
training.
Oh my goodness, yes. And then she also on the side, she had a studio in Trenton called Superstars. And when she met me, she actually asked me if I wanted to be a dance teacher. And of course, I'm all about dance, so I said yes. And I remember one specific time for a speech class, we had to interview someone who influenced us a lot and who had a career that we wanted. So I interviewed her and I asked her about all of these things. You know, what's it like to coach? What's it like to teach? What's it like to own a dance studio? And then after interviewing her, I thought about it. I'm like, that is really what I want to do. And then everything folded out the way it was supposed to. And now I'm living the dream.
Did she come to you with the idea of being a coach, or did you go to her?
I think it was very mutual. We created a very close relationship, and she was ready. She was ready to resign and transition out of it, and I was ready to go into it.
Is there any truth to the rumor that she got out of it because she had experienced you as a dancer and couldn't take it anymore?
I have no idea. Melissa, if you watch this, yes.
I tease.
So yes. I hope that she laughs. I hope she listens.
I hope
to
she
this
does
and
too.
laughs. Yes.
She's got a great sense of humor.
She does. She's a funny lady.
All right. So
anyway.
Continue. Your second year.
Second year, yes. So then transitioned into coaching and even started a little recreational dance program since she no longer had her studio. And so I literally started her ending.
Yeah.
She's transitioning over to me completely.
Well, what's she doing now?
I don't know. I know her daughter's in one of my dance classes.
Right, okay.
I'm not sure what she's doing.
Okay.
I should.
That first year we had her up at halftime of the game that you guys were dancing at. She didn't want to do it, but she kind of did the interview while you guys were dancing, and so it was kind of fun. It was like she was like a color analyst for the dance performance.
So funny. She talked about that. She's
Did
like, "Oh man, I don't want to interview you. I don't want to do
great.
that." She was.
Yeah.
She's very fun to be around. She'll talk to anybody.
Yeah.
So I love her.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So dancing and coaching dancing it looks like a career for you.
Oh my goodness, yes. I plan on doing what I'm doing right now for the rest of my life.
Tell me about your plans.
Oh, continue coaching until I can't walk. NCMC. I love NCMC. It's a wonderful place. It's small, but it's big, and the people there will help you just about through anything. So I plan on doing that. I have a goal of opening a dance studio in Trenton. I'm 22. So opening up a dance studio is a lot, especially when you're still saving money and doing things like that. But my long-term goal is to have a place for dance, both for the college, those dancers, and for little people, so that I can basically work those.
You're not talking about dwarves, are
No,
you?
no. Talking about those little kindergartners and preschoolers, working up 3 years, and then eventually having a 3-year-old that I teach and train all the way up to
That's
NCMC
cool.
dancer.
Right.
That's my goal.
That's neat.
So yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
You have a nice arena to perform in during our basketball games, and
Yes.
that's where I think I've seen you absolutely the most, and I imagine most people have.
Yes.
Where else do you guys perform? Is it a competition for you guys at times?
Yes. So last year was our very first year of competing, and that is so exciting. Community college dancers, only their third year and they're competing. That's a big deal. We're not associated with NJCAA, but we do compete at a brand called Varsity.
Okay.
And so this will be our second year going into that.
Okay. Are there junior college? Is there a program at the junior college level for teams?
As far as I know, I don't think so. As far as I know. Of course, Nate and I have visited about.
Nate Gammett
And I have visited about, what plans are for dance. For right now, varsity is so awesome because, believe it or not, dance at high schools and colleges, universities are one thing, but little high schools and little community colleges, it's really hard to find a universal place to compete. So varsity is a wonderful thing. It's just, it's not associated with school. People just go and you compete against other schools that are in the same situation as you that don't necessarily fall into any category.
Are they mostly junior college dance teams or something
I would say
else?
so. Now, last year, can I brag for just a second?
Sure, please.
Last year was our first year competing. Mizzou, they also competed varsity. Their Golden Girls they're dancers there, but they also have a club there, Mizzou Dance Club. And last year when we went to compete for the very first time, we actually beat Mizzou Club in the hip hop.
Nice.
Yes.
In hip-hop.
Oh my goodness, yes. And they are so awesome. They were so good. So to say that, I'm from Littletown, Trenton, and we're a little dance team in Trenton, and we beat Mizzou Club, that is a big deal.
Right.
So
plus, looking at your roster, you don't have kids from big cities. You have. Where do they get their hip hop skills?
Oh my goodness, we just combine. I think they all just do a wonderful job of combining the skills that they have and making it look uniform and together. People from little towns, Gall, and Pleasant View schools, and Trenton, and Princeton, and little tiny schools where they've had very little big dance world experience. So,
how do you get kids to join your group or try out for your group?
I think as the years go on, the more that we push out on social media, post dance videos, dancers that were once on the team are convincing kids back at their old schools that it's a wonderful thing, bringing those. I think that's how we've been able to get those kids to come together.
You have tryouts?
So we do them virtually, just because when you're in high school, combining both the high school and the college schedule is very difficult. So we do them virtually in March. And then I'll push it out on, Facebook, Instagram, and then have NCMC push it out.
The tryouts?
So the audition applications and video tutorials, and then they'll send it in, and then I'll sit down with the person of my choice, and we'll score the videos and choose who's going to be a part of the future team.
Right.
So
that's interesting. How many kids did you have try out this year?
I want to say 14.
And how many do you put on your squad?
8.
8?
Chose 8.
Is it a little smaller than other years?
Yes. Our very first year we had 12. Second year I believe we had 11. Third year was 9. And this year we have 8.
Right.
But I am a very firm believer in quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
So,
you're preaching to the choir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any remuneration for the kids? Or can they get scholarships for this? Or
not right now.
Is it more of an activity? So you're just like our broadcasting program.
Yep. It's in the works. Of course you want to work up to offering scholarships.
Right.
Since we're not associated with NJCAA, you're on your own. You figure, of course you still follow the same rules as the other sports, but I create my own rules, and I of course have Nate monitor and supervise what I'm doing. But
Carly, I love that. You create your own rules.
I do, yes.
Well, let me point this out. When you are the sole leader, and I think your program's a lot like mine, you don't have to go to a committee to make a decision, and so you're able to progress, I think, a little quicker.
Oh, yes.
A lot quicker.
Yes, I agree with you.
And you're nimble and agile when you need to make a decision.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So But yeah, it's.
How did this whole dream start? Where'd you grow up, and how does this relate to your career?
Yes. I grew up in Chillicothe, Missouri. Go Hornets. Yes, I love the Hornets. Grew up in Chillicothe, Missouri. I danced at Ballet Arts for 12 years with my dance teacher, Teresa Foley. And then from there, was very involved in high school student council and dance team and band and flags and those sort of things.
Straight A student?
Most of the time.
Were you really?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the time. A few B's here and there, of course.
Yeah, well, first of all, your name is Beebe. And second of all, sometimes straight A students are boring.
Right,
you gotta have some life experience.
I was at dance late a lot of the nights.
There you go.
So, you can only try your best. Dance is more important in school.
Yeah.
No, excuse me, that's not right.
Dance wasn't wonderful in school?
Oh, no, dance, what did I say? I said that dance was not as important as school.
Oh, well, that's good probably.
But
you get in high school, you perform in high school a little bit?
I did dance team in high school, was captain for my senior year. But yeah, most of the time I was at the studio doing competitions and recitals and helping. I helped a nice lady named Pam Minnick, and I assisted her for about 7 years from age, probably 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Helped her, and I think a lot of that was where I learned how to teach and show how to progress and things like that. So,
Tell me about teaching. What does that mean to you when you talk about teaching? What does that all encompass?
The most important part of teaching to me is the connection that you make with the kids. It's not so much about what you're teaching them, but how you're teaching them, how you encourage them, how you encourage them to progress. I'm big too on how do you feel? Like, I feel one thing that I would say that is good about me as a coach is I feel like my dancers would come to me for anything. They not necessarily for school. Yes, they're so important. They often come to me with emotional things too. How do I deal with this? This is coming up in my life. How do I deal with it? And it's so awesome to build connections with them and say, I've been in your same shoes before. I struggled with it too. This is what I did. So it's not always about dance.
Right.
So that's really awesome. And when I get to build that connection and teach them that way, that's my big goal in teaching.
Yeah. That's very good philosophy. Somewhere, and probably through the two influences you mentioned, you've picked up a pretty solid foundation, it sounds like, for this career. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How about your parents? What kind of influence have they had on you? And tell us a little bit about your family.
My family, so they now actually live in Alabama. My mom actually put me in my very first dance classes when I was in kindergarten. Hi, Mom. She was a wonderful lady.
Does she have a name?
Melanie.
Okay.
Alvera. She's a wonderful lady. She's pushed me a lot in my life. And then another big lady that's had a big influence on my life is my grandma.
Oh, that's neat.
Yes, my grandma and I have a very, very close relationship. She paid for my dance. Yes, all those years she paid for my dance, her and Grandpa did. She is a very emotional driven person.
Right.
She likes to connect with people emotionally.
Is she in this area?
So she is in Chillicothe.
And what's
yes.
her name?
Her name is Ann Beebe.
Okay.
And my grandpa Jerry Beebe, they both have had an extremely huge influence on my life.
That's very nice.
Yes, they're wonderful people. They care a lot about people and
Yeah.
I love them.
You have any siblings?
I do. I have two sisters. One is Caroline and the other one is Anna, and they're in Alabama.
Okay. Older, younger, middle?
Caroline is 15. Oh, she's 16. Oh,
Okay.
She's 16. And then my youngest sister, Anna, she is 9.
Okay,
No,
so you're kind of the boss of the group, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. That's interesting. What are they doing in school? What do you think they're going to turn out to be like?
I think my middle sister, Caroline, I think that she'll end up being a teacher.
Really?
Yeah, school
Okay.
teacher, elementary. And then my youngest sister, oh my goodness, she is so smart. I think that she'll probably do some engineering or things
Wow.
like that. She's got a brain on her.
Wow.
Yeah, she's very smart.
Okay.
We'll exceed in that area. So.
Tell me about when we can first see the Dance Wave. this year.
You can see the very first performance for NCMC Dance Wave next Wednesday, November 2nd at the halftime of 5:30, the 5:30 game and the 7:30 game.
So you're doing both the games?
We're doing both
Okay,
games
fantastic.
next Wednesday. We're excited.
Yeah. What does it take in your mind to be a successful dancer?
I think that if you are enjoying doing it while you're doing it, then that will make you a good dancer.
Are you talking about the practices or the performance, both?
Both.
Yeah.
I think that no matter when you're dancing or where you're dancing, how you're doing it is the most important thing, and that's what sets you apart from just dancers. If you're a good dancer, you can express yourself, and you can your main focus is on how you're doing it or how you're feeling while you're doing it versus what you look like when you're doing it.
Right. Our thanks today to Carly Beebe for visiting with us about the North Central Missouri College Dance Wave from a car dealership. We appreciate that they let us do that there and then, and of course it was a lot of fun to visit with Carly Beebe. We'll be back next week with a new Pirate People podcast from North Central Missouri College's Pirates Digital Media. Until then, we say goodbye and go Pirates!